second to last one for today. This one's called The Singularity and the Constants and the Constant. Although it is possible to count days as the rotation of the Earth in relation to the Sun presents us with day and night, it is not possible to measure time as a force or presence of any kind, but that of a concept. And I've recently learned this is the same with numbers. Quite amazing. Anyway, thus the movements of a timekeeping device actually measure the power source of that device. However, the fact that the structures of which both organic and inorganic things are composed cycle through stages, in general new to old, which for the most part are visible, serves greatly to augment the visible illusion of the passage of time. If, however, we can use our imaginations to visualize some kind of vague miasma outside of our perception, outside of the constraints of both distance and the internal forces that wear down physical things, we can begin to conceptualize something like an unseen and yet real world. Using our imaginations, we can paint this unseen world as a scaffolding upon which the world we see sits, a kind of pliable fabric which a singular entity of unlimited power and scope could interact with and manipulate at will. I say singular entity because if there were more than one of these beings, there would be a conflict and we would already have perished as a result. The miasma in which this being exists I shall call the constant, which in turn exists within the being, in a similar way to which a thought exists within our minds. The relationship between these three realms is augmented by, in the scaffolding or constant realm, a transitory sentient beings that act as conduits of the singularity's will, and in our realm, open brackets, the visible one, close brackets, in which their appearance can change to suit circumstances. They also serve the same function. The singularity can of course appear in either realm in a form appropriate to the sensory apparatus of either us or whatever manner of perception the singularity's unseen minions possess. Thus, these sentient functionaries, open brackets, the unseen minions, and us, close brackets, are not necessarily vital to the operation of the realms, but they do, however, reflect an emotional and imaginative life which we can suppose exists also in the singularity, formulated as we are, no doubt, upon a template that must in some way bear similarities to our singular creator. As sentient beings, I'll just add that, as opposed to animals. Now we shall imagine our universe from the outermost perspective of the singularity, existing within the superbeing, and that's in capitals, superbeing. Every part of an event within our universe or constant is accessible and viewable by the superbeing or singularity. Our conscious awareness, however, is restricted both by our location and the fact that we only perceive events in our immediate vicinity. This is also true of the unseen minions, albeit on a level not restricted by such a relatively abbreviated appearance within our world. Obviously that's in terms of time. We only exist here for a fraction, whereas the unseen minions are always there, just not in all places like God is. Which is to say, while we have no awareness before or after we die, the unseen beings exist constantly. Well, there you go. But are constantly at a single location. By contrast, the singularity, which of course is God, exists in all locations at once. Also, the unseen beings had a created beginning. The singularity has neither beginning nor end. Thanks for listening once again to an episode of Ben Emmett.